Yo, what is going up, everybody? And welcome back to Let's Talk Comics. Today we're going to be discussing and diving into a crossover that might not seem obvious to everybody, but obviously seems like truly just easy to understand to me, and probably a good other few people. And it's just something that really makes all the sense in the world once you think about it. Captain America and Nightwing. These two characters come from different universes, but if they ever met, there is no doubt in my mind that they would absolutely respect and admire each other to an extremely different level than we've ever seen before. Their sense of duty, their leadership, their unwavering optimism really just make them the perfect match for each other in terms of just like one working together in a team and just being friends in general. Now, obviously, when you think about it, how do you compare a super soldier from the 1940s with a former boy wonder who's basically the entirety of the heart of the DC universe? But honestly, just stick around because by the end of this video, I promise you guys that you will see why these two would go from fast friends to becoming one of the best crime fighting duos in the entirety of comics. But with all that said, let's dive in. So, obviously, one of the biggest reasons that Cap and Nightwing would absolutely connect is their somewhat similar backgrounds in heroism. Obviously, everybody knows Captain America, Steve Rogers, came from nothing, turned himself into the ultimate soldier, and led the Avengers with unshakable integrity. Obviously, Dick is a little different because he grew up in his as a circus acrobat, lost everything, and then built himself into one of the most beloved and effective crime fighters in the entirety of the DC universe. And just kind of going into their backstories, both of them know what it's like to rise from humble beginnings and probably quite literally the darkest times for both of them. Steve being fairly decently weak, having and being looked down upon by every singular person, and Robin, obviously Dick Grayson, going through the traumatic experience that he went through. And so they both know what it's like to come from humble beginnings and then become something far greater. Well, obviously, Dick, becomes the ward of Batman, becomes the first technical adopted son of Batman, and like Bruce Wayne, and obviously has a lot of money on his own specific. And by that point, we still see the kind of character that Dick Grayson is. But obviously, beyond that, both of them were obviously shaped by the loss of the father-like figures. Steve obviously losing Dr. Erstein, the scientist who believed in him when nobody else would, while Dick obviously lost Bruce Wayne's mentorship when he stopped trying to be Robin and actively, went out of Batman's shadow to become something better than greater than his own self, and obviously, losing his active parents. But they both understand what it's like to have and take a legacy and forge it into something new. Obviously, with Steve Erstein's legacy of the super soldier serum, and with Dick having to deal with the legacy of trying to be different from Batman and actively still being able to just protect everybody in a way that Batman obviously has, but just in a different way. But at least, still having and knowing that the legacy of Batman is forever tied to Nightwing. They understood what it's like to take that legacy and forge it into something completely new, making them kindred spirits, in my opinion, in ways that few others can actually match. And their past, obviously, are tragic, but their perseverance is what really makes them all so inspiring to everybody. Now, kind of moving on to the next point is something that we obviously knew I was going to have to talk about. Both Cap and Nightwing are natural born leaders. They lead in different ways, obviously, but when we think about it, Cap is a steadfast, battle-hardened commander who inspires people to follow him into any fight. Obviously, he was there during War II. He's basically been doing this for a good long portion of time, and he leads by example, showing his team that courage and perseverance can overcome any singular obstacle. Nightwing, obviously, on the other hand, is the heart of the DC universe, as I'm going to keep saying, because that's exactly what I think. The hero that everybody trusts and respects. He leads not just with tactics, but with pure charisma, making all of those around him feel valued and heard. If these two ever had like a team together, their combined leadership would be absolutely unstoppable if we're thinking about it. Nightwing's ability to connect with people on a personal level, and would just really complement Cap's strategic brilliance, making them a very well balanced and effective duo. Like with whether it's like on a battlefield or a war room, they would be able to push each other to be better while also finding in each other the sense of mutual admiration that I honestly just feel would be felt automatically. And let's keep it real. There would be plenty of moments where Cap would just try to keep things serious while Nightwing is probably cracking jokes in some way or another in Nightwing fashion, making up for a very great dynamic. And this is just going to be a small talking point because gotta talk about it. But we also do have to mention the fact of, their buttocks, their fabulous asses. I gotta mention it because, Nightwing is Nightwing. Dick Grayson is Dick Grayson. And Captain America, America's ass. You have to talk about it. While obviously Dick Grayson wins this competition in every singular facet, it would be an absolute hilariousness to kind of see a situation where they're in the same universe and people are probably going to be judging that in actual tabloids, in any kind of full-on media. So I just had to mention it because, it's just something that's got to be said. But, going back to more serious notes, because that, while obviously being 100% serious, because it's something that's probably going to be talked about in universe multiple times, we also have to, just discuss the real things that really truly matter. While that does, but, kind of keep moving. But you could also literally just talk about the way that their different, honestly, their fighting styles would just kind of intertwine and mesh, because imagine the sheer chemistry of watching Cap's tactical precision and shield combat blend with Nightwing's high-flying acrobatics and Escromatic's absolute mastery. And being honest here, again, Cap is very brilliant with his entire tactical precision, due to the fact that he can blend so well with every singular person. Like, he's able to create entire team ups, entire full on just cohesive unit work with almost any person. So him being able to create some kind of volley off of Nightwing's specific abilities and just his entire move set would be actually interesting to see. Nightwing's agility and ability to adapt in combat would also be a very big compliment to Cap's very well disciplined fighting style. There would probably be a very decent amount of time where they spent just time trying to spar just to test each other's limits. And obviously, Cap would win just, the super soldier bit, but that's probably still a decently close fight. Dick was still trained by Batman, so his entire moveset's going to be absolutely ridiculous. And Cap would no doubt be impressed by Nightwing's moves and the way that he's just able to control his body so well. But what makes their fighting styles honestly so compelling is how they both prioritize efficiency and adaptability. Cap might have the super soldier serum enhancements, but Nightwing is one of the best pure martial artists in the world, and watching them trade techniques, learning from each other, and pushing each other to become better would be an absolute spectacle. And let's not forget about the team-up fights, as again, I've already mentioned. Just imagine them seamlessly working together to take down enemies, with Cap throwing his shield and Nightwing ricocheting it off, just to deliver the finishing blow, or Cap literally just catapulting Nightwing up in the air and Nightwing doing some absolute ludicrousness via that kind of method. But you guys could think of however way you guys want to do it, but write those down in the comments, because I want to see the interesting dynamics that you could honestly come up with Cap and Nightwing having to work together in any specific way. But obviously, continuing on, we also have to talk about the fact that one of the biggest reasons that these two would absolutely love each other would just be the fact of their moral codes and unwavering optimism. Their values align almost so perfectly that it's hilarious. Captain America and Nightwing both represent the best in their respective worlds. They never give up. They always fight for what's right, and they inspire people around them to be better. They don't just fight crime, they uplift those who need it the most. Neither one of them truly believes in, like, obviously, neither one of them truly believes in killing Esk. Well, specifically, obviously, like, Cap was a warrior, he was in a war, but so, like, he actively will kill, but, like, it's more of a situation where they will actively try to talk people out before, like, specifically, Cap will actively try to talk people out before having to, do the final job. And anyone can respect a soldier for killing, so you kind of have to at least give him a pass on that, specifically when you were there during World War II. But it is a situation where they always do just strive to find another way. And they would probably stand by their friends, no matter what. Like the way that they always just stand by their friends no matter what. So it's a very big thing where we've already seen it, like, as an example, Captain America, Winter Soldier. Someone that Cap already knew was in Bucky. He's going to stand by him no matter what. And that really just means, like, their moral alignment would be the foundation of their relationship. Both have had the moments where they've doubted themselves, or specifically, neither one of them has ever given into that despair specifically. And they would really just serve as emotional anchors for each other, reinforcing their ideals and holding each other basically as a reminder that, like, it was a reminder of why they fight. Like, basically just both of them kind of looking at each other and seeing all of the best parts in themselves and being able to work with that, kind of keeping in line of what they need to do. In a world filled with, obviously, all the cynicism, especially in either one of their universes, they would be unwavering, and they already are unwavering beacons of hope, but together it would just be absolutely unstoppable. And something else that really would just bond these two together are their roles as mentors. Captain America has trained and inspired countless heroes. Obviously, Bucky, just after him dealing with all of the trauma, Sam Wilson, and, like, a decent couple, like, just specific others, but those two obviously being the main ones that eventually, like, take on the mantle of Captain America, like, at different points in time or whatever. But Nightwing, in turn, has mentored countless other people, like, including the Teen Titans and including people in the Bat family. They understand the weight of responsibility that comes with, guiding younger heroes, and would very well bond with each other over the experiences as, like, big brother-esque figures and mentors, and specifically, being leaders in any specific fashion, because Cap has led the Avengers, and Nightwing has led the Teen Titans, and if we're talking about, something like Young Justice, and just bringing that in because I love the show, he's led Young Justice, he's been the leader of the active Justice League on at least one occasion that I can think of automatically, but probably on multiple occasions. So it would just be a very big thing to kind of see anyways. And it's also so easy to imagine Nightwing just asking Cap for advice on how to handle leadership challenges, or just Cap being inspired by how absolutely effortlessly Dick just fosters his loyalty with his entire group of allies. I honestly just see them recognizing the burden of each other, like, in the burden that really just each other of them carries, and it would be a very big way and a very nice way to just watch them support each other in few ways others could. And let's be honest, Cap would probably tell Bruce something about how Bruce should have cut him some slack, while Dick would just remind Cap that he doesn't always have to be the responsible one. So I just see them having a very nice dynamic in general, no matter what. But really is kind of continuing on with that. I just see in a situation where if the Marvel and DC universes collide, which obviously has happened before, Cap and Nightwing would just hit it off so instantaneously. They'd probably start off with some kind of friendly competition, maybe just sparring or a foot race, obviously Cap winning, but it would be more of a situation where they would, beyond the action, they would just bond over the experiences of leading teams, dealing with immense responsibility, and fighting for justice in a world that constantly tries to break them down. There's, like, so many storyline possibilities where they could have stopped Hydra and the League of Assassins or whatever. Like, they could have done either one. require them to infiltrate like enemy bases and execute the perfect takedown mission. Like their camaraderie would absolutely just develop naturally, first of all, and they both would just respect each other's tactical minds and combat skills. And obviously, of course, there would be plenty of banter. Because let's be real, Nightwing would have some of the best quips, and like in Captain America would just be that perfectly, like just honestly would be the perfectly straight man to just bounce it off, or like just bounce off, and literally just have kind of conversations on conversations in galore. But obviously, with all that said, I just kind of have to say Captain America and Nightwing are two heroes, honestly cut from the same cloth, and two heroes that are quite possibly some of my favorites in either one of their universes. Not exactly being my like number ones on each end, but both of them being very, very close, and them being leaders, them being fighters, them being the symbols of hope. If they ever were to meet, I honestly think that they would recognize each other immediately as two people cut from the same bond, cut from the same cloth, and their mutual admiration and respect would just make them one of the most iconic comic book crossover kind of comic book people in existence. But what do you think? Would these two be best friends, or would their personalities just clash? Let me know down in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so there are more videos like this and more deep dives into like the world of comics and beyond. Until next time, keep reading, keep imagining the possibilities, and see y'all in the next video. Peace.